Okay, so we are going to do this test to review problems. There are 20 questions. So the first question is multiply this to imaginary number, as you can see here. So how do you multiply it? First of all, you can write it down in terms of I. So square root of negative 16 times the square root of negative 9, that will be square root of 16 times the square root of negative 1, square root of 9 times the square root of negative 1. Remember, we can split any negative number under the radical sign, like negative 16, as a negative 1 times positive 16, and we can write it down as a square root of negative 1 times the square root of 16, like that. So this is 4, this is I, this is 3, this is I. I means square root of negative 1 and I square is negative 1. So when you multiply 4 and 3, that is 12, and I is I squared, but I square means negative 1, so negative 1 times 12 is negative 12. So the answer for this question is negative 12. Okay, here you have to multiply two numbers. So let's go. 9 plus 4i. Okay, 9 plus 4i times 2 minus 6i. You can just use the FOILing. You multiply these numbers by 9, which is 9 times 2 is 18, minus 9 times 6 is 54i, and then after that multiply this by 4i. So 4 times 2 is 8i, positive times negative is negative, 4 times 6 is 24, I times I is I square. So it's 18 minus 54 plus 8i. So if you combine these two, it will be negative 46i, and then for I square you can replace it by negative 1. So it's 18 minus 46i positive 24. You can add 24 and 18, which is 42 minus 46i. So if you want to write down this expression in terms of a plus bi, this is the answer, 42 minus 46i. Okay, so 46i. Okay, divide whenever you have the complex number on the bottom part, which is 7 over 5 minus 11i, and if you have to write it down in terms of a plus bi, always multiply the top and bottom by the conjugate of that complex number. In this case, the conjugate of 5 minus 11i is 5 plus 11i. So on the top, distribute 7, which is 7 times 5 is 35, 7 times 11 is 77i. And on the bottom, because we're multiplying the conjugates, it would be 5 square plus 11 square. It's always the square of the first number plus square of the second number. So 11 square is 121 plus 25 is 146. So there is a 35 plus 77 I over 146. You have to split it. You have to write it down, 35 over 146 plus 77 over 146 I. If you can, you have to simplify this fraction, but it doesn't look it looks already simplified. There is nothing common factor on the top and bottom. So I'm going to type that answer, 35 divided by 146, 35 divided by 146, and then the second part is plus 77 divided by 146 I. So here is the I. Okay, find the vertex. The vertex is this coordinate of this point, which is -2 comma +2. That's the vertex. So when you click here, it gives you this option. So that's -2 and then +2. The axis of symmetry is always x equal the x coordinate of the vertex, which is in this case it's a -2. And the minimum value or maximum value you can get at the vertex, which is the y coordinate. In this case, because the curve is up, facing up, the vertex gives you the minimum value, and the value is 2, which is the y coordinate of the vertex. Okay, the graph we need to find. To find the graph, you can compare this equation with this function with quadratic function in this form: a times x minus h square plus k. In this form, h comma k gives you the vertex. If a is positive facing up, if a is negative facing down. So in this case, if you compare this one, then a is -1. That means the graph supposed to be facing down. And then vertex is at h is -1, because there is a plus sign, so you have to make it negative. And then comma the k is -8. So -1 comma -8, that's the vertex. So using this fact, choose the facing down graphs where the vertex is at -1 and -8. -1. So this one has a vertex positive, vertex at 0. So the only option you have is this one, which is facing down at -1 and -8. A ball is thrown directly upward from a height of 4 feet with an initial velocity 28 feet per second. The function, if you look at the function here, this is the quadratic function. It's supposed to, this is the parabola, it's supposed to be written like this. S of t is equal to -16t square plus 28t plus 4. If you throw a ball, the ball follows the parabolic nature. So there you are going to find the time, which is the x coordinate of the vertex, where the ball has a maximum height. So that is what we are trying to find, and for that we need to find the vertex. There is a formula for the vertex, which is for the x coordinate, that is -b/2a, which is the value of t. B means the coefficient of t, which is 28, and a means the coefficient of t square, which is -16. That is 28 divided by 32. Negative times negative is positive. If you simplify that, 7 divided by 8, that's the time when the ball reaches at the maximum height. So type integer or decimal. So 7/8 is not the integer or decimal, so we're going to use a calculator, and 7/8 is our answer. 0.875 is the time the ball reaches its maximum height of. So what is the maximum height? In 0.875. So I found the time first, 875. To find the maximum height, you have to use the formula here, and you have to put 7/8 for the time. So the value of the height at 7/8 is -7/8 square positive 28 times 7/8 plus 4. So you can use a calculator to calculate this value. This is the 7/8. Square of that is this number times 16. This is the number, but there is a negative sign in front of it, so make this one negative, and then plus 4. I'm adding this 4, and then this one, which is plus, I'm going to do that in parentheses, 28 times 7/8, parentheses close, and that gives us the answer, which is 16.25 feet. 16.25 feet in 0.875 second. Okay, and that's the answer. One more time, a toy rocket is shot vertically into the air, air from a launching pad 4 feet above the ground with an initial velocity of 144 feet per second. The height in the feet and the rocket above the ground t seconds after the launch is given by this height. This is very similar question like question number 6. You have to find the vertex, and then the y coordinate of the vertex is your maximum height, and then x coordinate of the vertex gives you the time. So I'm going to skip this problem. Very similar question like previous one. How to solve this rational equation? So to solve this type of equation, you need to find the LCD. In this case, if you look at here, there is a 12, and on the bottom there is a y plus 6 plus 2 over y, and on the top, on the right side, you can write down 8y minus 6, and on the bottom you can find out the factors, which are y plus 6 and y minus 6. The reason I found the factors, because we need to find the LCD. LCD means all the common factor, like this one and this one is common. And then after that, leftover factor. From here the leftover is y, from here the leftover is y minus 6. Now we need to just multiply both sides by LCD. When we do that, what happens is this LCD goes on the top here. So 12 times the LCD, which is y plus 6, y minus 6, divide by y plus 6, plus 2 times y plus 6 times y minus 6, divide by y, times 8y minus 6 times y times this value, y plus 6 times y minus 6, y minus 6, divide by y plus 6 times y minus 6. Now do the simplification. Cancel this common factor on the top and bottom. Here both of them are cancelled, and then write down the leftover thing, which is 12y on the left side, and then 2 times y plus 6 and y minus 6, which is 2 times y square minus 36, and on the right side it's 8y square minus 6y if you distribute the y here. Okay, now we need to solve this equation. So we need to do the simplification, more simplification here. So 12y plus 2y square minus 72, because 36 times 2 is 72, 8y square minus 6y. So bring everything on the one side. So I'm going to bring everything to the other side, which is 8y square minus 6y. Let me just go back. Negative 12y, make it opposite, negative 2y square, and positive 72 equals 0. So now just combine the like terms. 8 minus 2 is 6y square, 6 and 12 is 18y, and then plus 72 equals 0. I can factor out 6, which is y square plus 3y plus 12 equals 0. So that means this expression is supposed to be 0, and we can find out the factors of this expression. We are looking for two number whose product is 12, like and then sum is negative 3. Do we have anything like that? So 12 3 times 4, 6 times 2, and that's all. That doesn't give you anything. So to find the solution of this, we need to we can use the quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula is negative b, y equal negative b is negative 3, plus minus b square, which is 3 square is 9, minus 4 times a times c. 4 times a is 1, c is 12, divide by 2 times a, which is 1. So this is the solution. These are the solution, which is positive 3 plus and minus 9 minus 12 times 4 is 48. So negative 39 divided by 2. So that's the answer. If you write down this answer in terms of imaginary number, so that would be positive 3 plus and minus square root of 39I divided by 2. So that's the answer. So the solutions are, there are two solutions, one with the plus and one with the minus. So the plus one, solve this plus 1, which is 3. So go here, 3 plus minus 3. Okay, there is a way to write it down. 3 plus minus square root of 39 I. What is I? There is no I. I divide by 2. So these are the solution. Okay, I don't know what happened. Maybe the the notation, they were not properly written. 3 plus minus square root of 39I. Type an integer or simplified fraction. Use a okay, I think it's not going to take my imaginary solution. Let me go back here. 12y plus 6, 2 over y, 8y minus 6, y square minus 36, which is y plus 6, y minus 6. So the LCD is y times y plus 6, y minus 6. If I multiply the top and bottom one, it's 12y, y minus 6. It's a 2y plus 6, y minus 6. So that's 12y plus 2y square minus 72. And on the right side, it's 8y minus 6 times y, which is 8y square minus 6y. So 8y square minus 2y, it's a 6y square. And then negative 18y plus 72. That's good. That is also good. Negative 3 negative b plus minus b square, which is 9 minus 4ac, which is 48. So 48 means it's 39. It's supposed to be negative 39. And that's supposed to be the right answer. I don't know why it's not the right answer. If I try, there is no solution. Again, it's not taking my answer. So let me just give that. What happened? I don't know. Question number 8. That was the question, right? Okay, let me do it again with this question. I did something wrong here. I don't know what I did. So I'm going to try it one more time. But it's giving me the new question this time now. But let me just write it down here. 12 divided by y plus 3 plus 4 divided by y, 13y minus 3 divided by y plus 3 and y minus 3. The LCD is y times y plus 3 times y minus 3. If I multiply both sides by LCD, the very first one gives me 12 times y minus 3. Did I get the same thing here while I was doing the first question? Oh, do you see that? Here I missed this y minus 6. I forgot to multiply this y minus 6 by 12y. So that was the mistake I did. So that was the reason my answer was not right. You understand? So I did the blunder mistake here. I canceled the y plus 6 and I forgot about this y minus 6. So now this time I'm going to keep it. Instead of 6, this time there is a 3. And by doing the same thing, there will be y square minus 9. And here it would be 13y minus 3 and then y. So this will be 12y square minus 36y, 4y square minus 36. This is 13y square minus 3y. If I bring everything to the one side, it's a 13 minus 12 is y square, negative 3y. Okay, let's do this. Let's do the simplification. 12 plus 4 is 16y square minus 36y plus 36. I'm going to bring this to the other side, 13y square, and this is positive 3y. So 16 minus 13 is 3y square, negative 36 positive 3y is negative 33y, and this is 36 equals 0. I'm going to factor 3. It gives me y square minus 11y plus 12 equals 0. And if I factor out this thing, it is y minus 11 and y plus 1 equals 0. Is that right? Y minus 11 and y minus 1, because negative 1 times negative. Okay, that's not the right answer. It's supposed to be 12 plus 1, because negative 12 times positive 1 is negative 12. I need the positive 12. Negative 12 times negative 1 is positive 12. Oh, what did I do wrong again? This is negative 36. So how do I make it positive 36? It's supposed to be negative 36. So now it's right. Negative 12 and negative 1. Okay. Negative times negative and positive. Negative 12 and positive 1. So look, y square minus 11y minus 12 equals 0. And these are the factors, negative 12 and positive 1. Because if you multiply negative 12 times positive 1, that would be negative 12. But if you add negative 12 and positive 1, that would be the middle number. So y equal 12 and negative 1. These are the two solutions. So the solution are 12 comma negative 1. Okay, that's right. So make sure that when you do the problem, make sure that you don't do the mistake like me. Okay, very time consuming problem. Next, very similar idea, so I'm going to skip this. Just find the LCD, multiply both sides by the LCD, and do the problem. This is the radical equation. To solve the radical equation, first of all, isolate the radical. So I'm going to keep the radical sign on the left and bring the constant to the right side. And then after that, we're going to take the square root thing cannot be negative. So actually there is no answer. But if you want to solve for any way, then take the square both sides. That will be x plus 1 equal 25. And if you solve for x, it will be 24. But when you try and go back and check, if you put 24 here, 24 plus 1 is 25. The square root of 25 is 5. 5 plus 5 is 10, not the 0. So no solution actually, which I already knew by just looking here. If you have the radical sign negative, that's not possible. It has to be, this is the radical, this is the square root function. It cannot be negative. Okay. Now this time there are two radical sign. So if you have two radical sign, what do? You keep the one radical sign on one side, which is x minus 11. I'm going to keep it on the left side, and I'm going to bring this to the other side. So that will be 5 minus square root of x plus 4. Now you have to take the square to get rid of this radical sign. By doing that, it gives you x minus 11. And then when you square this, meaning when you multiply this thing by itself, it will be 25 minus 10 square root of x plus 4, and the square of this, which is x plus 4. Now to go further, you have to keep everything, like you have to combine the like terms first, and then bring all the terms to the one side and then isolate this radical sign. So here it's a 25 plus 4 is 29, minus 10 square root of x plus 4, and then there is a x, and there is x minus 11, so subtract x, it's gone, and then subtract 29, this is gone, and that gives you 40 negative, and there is a negative 10 is square root of x plus 4, divide both sides by negative 10, that gives you 4, and now the problem becomes square root of x plus 4 equal 4. If you go back, on the left side there is a 4, and on the right side there is a square root of x plus 4. So now you have to square it one more time, and then that gives you x plus 4 equals 16, and then if you subtract 4, x equals 12. After finding this solution, you always have to go back and check. 12 minus 11 is 1, plus 12 plus 4 is 16, square root of 16 is 4, 4 plus 1 is 5. So the answer is yes, that's right, 12. Square root of negative 32 is, this is the first problem I think we did. Square root of negative 32 can be written as square root of negative 1 times the square root of 32. This is I, so it's I times square root of 32. So if you want to simplify this square root of 32, which is 32 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So how many 2's are there? It's a 4 square times 2. So square root of 32 is 4 square times square root of 2. 4 square means it's a 4. So it's a 4 square root of 2 and I. So 4 square root of 2 and I. This is the answer. Subtract. When you subtract the like terms. Negative 4, negative 7 is negative 10 or negative 11. Negative 6 and positive I is negative 5. So negative 11, negative 5, I. I to the power 15. So problem like this, keep in mind, I to the power 15 is I square to the power 7, which is 14, and we need one more I. This is I square means negative 1 to the power 7 I. Negative 1 to the power 7 is negative, so and the answer is negative I. So the answer could be like negative I, positive 1, or negative 1. These are the four options. For this is the negative I. Divide. You just have to multiply the top part and bottom part by its conjugate. So in this case, there is a 9 plus I. I'm going to multiply that by negative 7 positive 3i. That's the conjugate. You just change the sign of the imaginary part, not the real part. Okay, negative 7 negative 3i, negative 7 positive 3i. By doing that, on the top you can multiply, on the bottom you get the square of the first number plus the square of the second number. So but here you have to FOIL it. That would be negative 63 positive 27i, negative 7i, positive 3i square. On the bottom it's a square of 7, negative 7 plus the square of 3. So if you combine the like terms on the top, it's a negative 63, and 27 minus 7 is 20i, and this is I square means negative 3. So this is 49 plus 9 is 58. So if you combine negative 63 and 3, it's a negative 66 divided by 58, positive 20 divided by 58, and thus simplify, divide by 2. So 33, 29. What is that? 10, 29. So the answer is negative 33 divided by 29 plus 10 divided by 29. So this is the answer. Solve quadratic equation. how do you solve quadratic equation? You have different ways to solve it. First of all, bring everything on the left side. Negative 36 equals 0. X squared minus 4x minus 32 equals 0. If you can find out the two number whose product is negative 32 and then sum is negative 4. So I can think about negative 8 times 4. It's negative 32, and then if you add them, it's negative 4, which is the middle number. So it would be x minus 8 and then x plus 4. This minus 8 is coming from here, plus 4 is coming from here. Make sense? So the answer is x minus 8 equals 0, x plus 4 equals 0. So x equal 8 and x equal negative 4. So these are the two options, negative 4 and positive 8. This is the answer. Use the given graph to find the x-intercept. X-intercept means where the graph intersects with the x-axis, which is 3, 0 and negative 5, 0. So 3, 0 and then 0. 0 means, 3 and then negative 5. So 3, 0, negative 5, 0 and 3 and negative 5. So these are the answers. This is the answer. Consider only the discriminant b square minus 4ac to determine whether one real number solution to different real number. So what happens is, depending on the discriminant we have given here, we can find out how many solutions we have. In this case, first of all, write down the equation 3x squared minus 3x plus 5 equals 0. Find out b, a is 3, b is negative 3 and c is 5. B square minus 4 times ac, this is called discriminant. B square is negative 3 square minus 4 times a times c, which is 9 minus 60, which is negative 51. If the b square minus 4ac is negative, then you will have two imaginary solution. That is the rule. Two imaginary solution. Solve this rational equation. You have to multiply both sides by what is that called? By LCD, and then you are going to get the answer. In this case, the LCD is 6. 6 has 2 times 3 and 2 has just a 2, so LCD is common factor and then leftover, which is 3. So LCD is 6, so we're going to multiply this equation both sides by 6. That gives us 6 times x plus 3 divided by 6, 6 times x minus 4 divided by 2, and 6 times 4. This 6 gone. If you divide 6 by 2, that would be 3. So it's x plus 3 minus 3x plus 12. Negative times negative is positive. When you distribute that, you have to be careful. Negative 3x plus x is negative 2x. 12 plus 3 is 15. I'm going to take that 15 to the other side. 24 minus 15 is 9. And now just divide both sides by negative 2. So x is negative 9 over 2. So this is the answer. One number is 8 greater than another. The product of the number is 84. Find the numbers. So there are two numbers we have given. One number is 8 greater than another one. So let's say those two numbers are x and y. Let's say y is 8 greater than x. And the product we have given between them is 84. So from here, what you can do is you can replace this y by x plus 8. So this is x squared plus 8x minus 84 equals 0. So you need to solve this quadratic equation. So 84, if you try to find the factors of 84, and then sum supposed to be 8, so that is what is that, 2, 4, 2, 2, 21, 3, 7. So 14 minus 6 is, okay, 7 times 2 is 14, 3 times 2 is 6, so negative 14 times positive 6. No, positive 14 minus 6. These are the two factors of negative 84. If you multiply 14 and negative 6, that gives you negative 84, and if you add them, that gives you positive 8. So the factors would be x plus 14 and x minus 6. So if you solve this, one of the solution would be negative 14 and another solution would be positive 6. So if you put negative 14 here for the y, that will be negative 6. So negative 14 plus 8 is negative 6. So y is negative 6. So if x is negative 14, y is negative 6. If x is positive 6, then y is positive 14. So that is the combination you could have. So another pair, one pair of the number both positive would be 6 comma 14, and then another pair is negative 6 comma negative 14. So these are the two pairs. Okay, and that's right. Okay, that's all for the test 2 review.